All right, so before we dive into the episode, we're gonna go over our Facebook poll real quick. Ted, you want to take it from here?
Yes, because I have a lot of thoughts on this. And most
uh,
of those thoughts involve you all being terrible disappointments. And I'll tell you why. The theme poll for this week, or at least for this episode, was who was a more effective or a quote unquote better villain? Not better in the sense of they had some good in them, better in the fact that they were more effective of a villain. The two that we chose were Green Goblin, of course, from Spider Man, and then the Joker from Batman. And Joker won pretty handily. It was something like 73% of the overall votes
yep.
um, went to him. And that is wrong. And I will tell you why. You voters allowed your judgment to be clouded, okay? The question wasn't which was better in the movie. Obviously, Heath Ledger's Joker was very good and was the best part by a large margin of The Dark Knight.
Correct.
As a comic book character, the Green Goblin pushes Joker shit in 10 times out of 10, okay? The Green Goblin has a fucking glider and bombs, all right? The Joker has some really, really shitty card tricks, okay? He has a lapel flower that shoots water or acid, okay? That's gonna be super effective of a guy in the fucking sky, all right?
I mean, to play devil's advocate, he did get the best of Batman a couple times, right? I mean, I'm not super versed in the Joker when it comes to the comic books, so that's kind of why I personally voted for Green Goblin in this poll.
Yes, because that's the correct answer, David.
Well, I mean, not not just that, but like I've read more iterations of Spider-Man that involved Green Goblin than I did with Batman that involved Joker, at least as the main villain in that story. But yeah, I mean, I don't. What Ted is saying, I pretty much mirror those same thoughts. I feel like, and maybe it's partly my fault for not being super clear, but the pictures that I did put on the poll were not pictures from the movies. It was not Heath Ledger's Joker or Joaquin Phoenix's Joker or Jared Leto's Joker,
Which
which
doesn't
would
exist. I don't know what you're talking about.
right, exactly. And it wasn't Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. They were both. I made active attempts to choose images for these two villains from the comic books. And like Ted said, I have a little bit of an inkling that people were voting based off of the movie versions of these two villains. And while that's definitely a different poll, a different story, a different result set, I feel like. But as for the comic books go, I feel like people tend to with this poll they voted with their experience with the Joker in movies versus the Green Goblin in movies. So that's
Now, to be fair, I did go a little hard on the voters earlier, and while I am thankful, and we are thankful that
we're very
anybody
thankful.
contributed, it's all in good fun. Your opinions
Mhm.
aren't wrong, despite them being in fact incorrect. Um, I could see how a case could be made for the Joker, right? Because he is basically Batman's arch nemesis, and the point is, he can't fucking fly. All right, the Green Goblin is not only an effective villain as the Green Goblin, he's an effective villain just as Norman Osborn.
Right.
So that to me really is why he edges out. The glider is just a funny comment and really cool, but in my opinion, he does edge out in just about any way you want to look at it.
Right. Not to point anyone out, but since this is a little on the positive side, our buddy Mac, he actually voted for the Green Goblin. So high five, Mac. You're one of the very small percentage people that
With the correct choice.
right.
As we know, Mac has been on the podcast, longtime friend to the show.
Hmm.
Very intelligent, very good guy. Even though his Star Trek opinions are not always 100%, still a solid guy.
Right,
He
yeah.
likes Sequest. You gotta give it up for that.
Hey, I think on that episode, we all found some pretty solid common ground with the next generation, I think.
Yes, how it's the
Eh
you know what? Let's not relitigate the past. Mac's a solid guy. He's a solid guy.
Right, yeah. And we are also getting way off topic. So, I
Bold of you to
think
assume we had one to begin with.
that is that is most definitely true.
Anyway, long
Um,
story short,
yeah.
Joker won.
Yeah,
I
thank
demand
you.
a recount, but I won't get one. So
But yeah, what you should take away is that thank you once again for participating in polls, and we will try not to yell at you too much in the
I
future
make no such
for
promises.
for making the wrong choices.